If you did, you knew they were like that stay away from type of people, you know? And I kind of mastered the ability to make these needles, and they were hand poke tattoos that I was doing. I would burn checkers and catch all the soot in a cone, scrape all the soot off, and I would find ways to smuggle it around inside the institution. Everyone knew me, so they're like, here's all my used razors and shit, you know? And I was 19 at the time, bro, but we would burn all this stuff up, and I would scrape it off and empty the coffee packs, and I would travel around different dormitories. And it's crazy because I was telling one of my friends recently, this is a few years fast forward to the full circle part of it. I was in Paris and I was looking down at the convention, and just this line of people that I was like, fuck man, we're gonna kill it, you know? I was telling my friend that, I said, man, this kind of reminded me of when I was a kid in an institution, and like looking at this stuff, it made me realize how far I've come in my career. I'm sitting here in Paris now, almost 30 years later, and looking over at the Sting, about to launch my own needle company, about to, have my own ink company going, and I thought about it. Nothing really takes me back to those memories because I'm so busy or whatever, but at that time something made me stop and think, like, man, look at where I'm at, you know? Look at how far I've come, and where I was able to take this stuff, and it made me really reflect on the growth of it, you know what I mean? Along the way, when I could trace back artists that have influenced me, even early on in Juvenile Hall, man, there was this dude named Boy from Longo. He was one of the best ballpoint pen drawers ever, man. I mean, he drew the beautiful Chola girls with the bombs, and the low riders with the guys with the prison bars, and all that type of stuff. I mean, he drew it so beautifully, man. And I remember tracing his artwork just day and night, trying to master that stuff, you know. Another guy was Freddie Negretti, hid in state prison at a young age. His name was popular in there, man, and I seen some of his tattoo work, and I was like, wow, I gotta get as good as this guy, man. But my homeboy Deffer too, man, making a real big name for himself in the art world, you know. There's a lot, man, and even in these later years, man, Norm has been a great influence on me, man. You know, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with, man, in the tattoo world and the graffiti world. I try to keep myself in a position where I stay really strong on being original, you know. I always want to make sure that I'm not really copying anybody, you know. Although me, Prime, and Deffer, there's a few of us that have real similar lettering styles because we come from the same gang or the same thing, and you got to remember these letters were invented in those areas of LA. Or maybe a few years ago, I started painting a lot more, and the painting I've been doing since I was a kid, man. I'm gonna send you some pictures, man, of some block letters that I used to put up in LA when I was a youngster, bro. Now it's being mimicked everywhere. When we did it, we risked our lives, man. People would come. I just had this lecture at the Esmo Museum, and we recreated a mural that I painted when it was in 1990 we painted it. So I was like 15 or 16 years old, and we put maybe about 100 names of the kids that had got murdered on my street, bro. Like that was a small portion. If we went back now to edit that, it would be like so many kids, and some of the family members that had died there in that neighborhood in Pico Union. But in that lecture, I was telling people, they were asking, how did you do this? And I said, you know what? We started this mural that has the scenes of Jesus when he gets crucified at the bottom, and then the whole top of the second story is like names and names and names running across the whole top. But they didn't really understand what went into that. And I said, let me just break this down to you. When I painted this mural, we were young kids. In order for me to paint this mural of our friends that have died, I had people on the rooftop with machine guns making sure that I didn't get shot off that ladder, man, you know? Because the kids from the other, it was just that era, you know? So I've been doing art for a long time on walls, but unfortunately I took this crazy roller coaster ride through institutions, and even drug abuse and a bunch of other craziness, you know, buried a lot of friends and all that. But it came back around, man, a few years ago when I was doing the conventions and stuff. A couple of my good friends invited me to be a part of an art show. As hesitant as I was, I love trying new stuff. I get bored fast, man, you know, but as soon as I did it, I'm like, fuck, I just lit a new fire, man, you know. I think then another art show, and then little by little, within a short period of time, things kind of just took off, man, you know. I'm not sure if the story behind me as an individual and kind of the guys I was painting with had a lot to do with it. I'm hoping it was the artwork itself that was really intriguing, but I think all together as a whole, I think it all grew really fast. You know, fast forwarding from those early shows, which were only a few years ago, like 2013 or something, with Chaz Bojorquez and all these other great artists. 2 years later, I'm in a show curated by the Getty Museum. I'm part of their book, one of their rare books. That's a one of one in their Getty archives. You know, just a lot of things happened really fast, man. But in between all that, there was never a day off. You know, never looking for that easy ticket, man. You know, I think the passion behind what I've been doing and the amount of work that I put into every piece, whether it's a tattoo or a painting or whatever, you know, I pour my soul into it.